I started to pray about how we could protect our children here from inappropriate conversations until they are able to dissect it and old enough to understand it.
A North Louisiana lawmaker has introduced a bill to limit what educators can say about gender and sexuality. The so-called Don't Say Gay legislation is patterned after a similar measure that recently passed in Florida. Paul Murphy reports the author says it protects children from harm, while opponents call the bill bigoted.
Louisiana is one of 4 states with laws on the books that limit sex education to that between a man and a woman. Now, State Representative Dodie Horton, a Republican from the Shreveport area, wants to bar school employees from discussing sexual orientation or gender identity in the classroom. Her bill would apply to kindergarten through 8th grade. Horton says people in her district support the measure.
They just don't want to take a chance of their children being influenced in a manner that is not conducive to their lifestyle or to their personal beliefs.
Horton admits she wasn't aware of the need for the bill until she started reading about a similar measure that just passed in Florida.
It just solidified the need for us to protect our Louisiana children as well.
Opponents have dubbed the legislation Don't Say Gay.
It's taken on that name because that's exactly the intent.
Forum for Equality Executive Director Sarah Jane Guidry says Horton's bill seeks to isolate and stigmatize the LGBTQ community.
We need to make sure that we're not censoring these discussions and rather making inclusive classrooms in which students that are at a higher level of bullying and suicide are welcomed.
Louisiana's Democratic Governor John Bel Edwards sent a clear message how he feels about this type of legislation during Monday's State of the State address.
Some of the bills that are being brought up this session, they really don't do anything to make lives better. They don't continue to move us forward. They do, however, serve to divide us.
Despite the opposition, Horton is determined to get the bill through the Republican-controlled state legislature.
I talked to my pastor, and he challenged me, and said we definitely need to do this.
The bill has yet to be set for its first hearing. Paul Murphy, Eyewitness News.
The New Orleans City Council is taking a stand against the bill. A resolution by Council President Helena Moreno and co-authored by all members of City Council condemned this type of legislation. Moreno said in a statement, quote, "The level of cruelty in these bills is tragic, and it's shocking that some legislators can't understand that this bigoted legislation creates terrible harm for kids." As we said earlier, Florida's legislature passed a so-called Don't Say Gay bill recently. It will now go to Governor Ron DeSantis' desk, where he's expected to sign it into law. More than a dozen other states are considering similar bills.